Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is Ali Plays, and today we're going to be doing the Faction Wars prep. So we're going to be going over the Sacred Order and Barbarians, only the uncommon and rare champions. So we're going to go over the champions that you should focus on to help you get through Faction Wars. So if you guys don't know about Faction Wars, I went over what it is. If you guys click on this banner right here, it says Faction Wars, what's this? Yeah, you guys can go click on that if you don't know. If not, you can go check out my first video in this series. And yeah, let's get started. So we're still going over the Templarians. We got the Sacred Order and the Barbarians. So I don't know what's going to be going on with Faction Wars other than what they have stated, and Faction Wars should be coming out soon. So let's go over the Sacred Order. Sacred Order has a lot of champions. So again, I won't be going over epics and legendaries unless you guys want me to in the comment section. Let me know. So we're going to be going over the farmable rares and the uncommon champions, because those are easy to get. And the reason why we're doing uncommon is because there's a lot of very good uncommon champions that are viable that you can use. So that's why we're going over them, and they're very easy to skill up. You can just get them from the marketplace or from mystery shards or from the campaign. Some of them drop in campaign. So let's get started. So number one that you should focus on is Armiger. So the reason why you should focus on him, he has a decreased turn meter by 30% if the attack's critical on his basic attack. He's defense based and damage based on defense, so he's very good. And this move is right here is what makes him stand out. He has a move that damage inflicted is proportional to defense and increased according to enemy max HP. Enemies killed by his skill cannot be revived, so he has a lot of things going on. Block revive, damage based on enemy max HP, and damage based on his defense. So this guy's going to be a very good champion. Easy for you guys to skill up to do more damage. Let's move on. Let's go on to Crusader. So Crusader is one of those champions that you worked on at the beginning of the game. When he first started, because he's basically given to you. So he has a double hit on his basic attack. What makes him stand out is that you can attack one enemy with one random ally. The ally joining the attack uses the default skill, so you can call for assist, which is a 2-turn cooldown when maxed out. So he's going to be very good. He should help you out a lot in Faction Wars if you can get him maxed out. If you can get his abilities maxed out, I would take the uncommon champion as a 4-star, 5-star if you want, but 4-star should be good enough. So I got Pilgrim as a champion that you guys should work on. If he attacks one enemy twice, each hit decreases turn meter by 5%. But what makes him good is that he can place a 30% increased defense buff on allies for 2 turns. So that's why I have him there. He's a very good support unit for the uncommon champions. So my take is that uncommons, if you haven't checked my first video, is that they will help you liberate the first area of the game. And then when you get further in, you want to use your rares, epics, if legendaries if you have them. So we have another uncommon here. We got a support unit, Intercessor. She has a decreased attack on her basic attack, and she has 25% increased attack buff on allies for 2 turns. So she's going to help buff your team so you guys can do more damage. So that's why I have her on my list. And another guy is Sergeant. So Sergeant's on my list because he's like Crusader. Double hit on his A1, and then he has attacks on enemy with one random ally. The ally joining the attack uses their default skill. So again, with these uncommon champions, you can make multiple of them. So you can make multiple Crusaders, multiple Sergeants, multiple Armigers. So hopefully they'll help you out. Outlaw Monk, I would suggest building him just for the bosses. If there's any bosses like the clan boss, the poison is going to be very good there. So that's why I would recommend building him just for that. So that's it for the uncommon champions. Let's move on to the rare. So we're going to be looking at the farmable champions first. We have Templar. So Templar is a good choice because he has provoke on his A2. He attacks 4 times at random, so it's an AoE basically. That each hit has a 25% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. So this is basically like Crimson Helm's A2 or A3. I don't remember, but she does have an ability like that, and he's a rare champion. He's defense based, damage based on defense, so he's going to be dealing a lot of damage. Also, his passive ability, he can attack with his basic skill whenever an enemy places a debuff on him. And he has an aura skill that increases ally resistance in the arena by 50, but that's not going to suffice for Faction Wars. His basic attack decreases speed, and he attacks based on defense. So you can see this guy's a very good champion. He is farmable, so you can get him from the campaign. And then if you upgrade his skills, he's going to be very solid. So I'll recommend working on Templar. So we're not going to be looking at these voids because they're going to be hard to get, except for Justiciar. He's not that good. So he's not that good, but you guys can use him if you want. You can work on him. He is a void, so that's something. Of course, we got Aethel. So if he shows her as a starter, she is viable. She's going to be viable in Faction Wars. So she's going to be pretty good. Well, you know how Aethel is, right? She is very good, not pretty good. And she has a universal aura skill that increases ally HP in all battles by 15%. So she's a very good choice. Another good choice is one of the newer champions, Mother Superior, because she has an universal aura skill that increases ally speed in all battles by 13%. She has 2 heals, well, one continuous heal and a shield, and one that heals an ally by 30% of her max HP. And she plays a shield buff equal to any surplus heal for 2 turns. Her target is fully healed by the skill, so that's very good. Also, she has decreased attack on her basic attack. And she has 103 base speed. So she is very, very good. Solid choice. Champion that everybody has, if you haven't used her as food, is War Priest. She has a freeze on her basic. She can heal and she can attack buff. So she's a solid choice for Faction Wars. For free-to-play players. I think even the pay-to-win players, or Dolphins, Whales, or will probably have to use rares as well. Maiden is another choice. She's obtainable with mystery shards, ancient shards, but she's not farmable. She has a freeze on her basic attack. I like champions that have freeze on their basic attack that can help you out, can come in clutch. Her A3, she can place a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and place a 30% decreased debuff on all enemies for 2 turns if the attack is critical. So decreased defense is always good, as well as a freeze on basic attack. So another healer that you can use is Chaplain, but what I don't like about her is that she's a support unit that heals based on how much damage she does. So again, if you need healers, I would go for her, but if you already have a healer, I would just leave her. So I wouldn't work on her. So Hospitaller is a good choice because she has an aura skill that is universal. So you can use her on a separate team. She increases ally speed in all battles by 10%. Her A1 just basic, she just attacks. She has an AoE that has a 75% chance of removing 1 random buff from each target. So that is very good. Buff removal is always good. She can place a 15% increased speed and 50% increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. That is very good. And if you have Harrier on your team, she can revive around ally with 25% HP and places a block damage buff on them for 1 turn whenever Harrier kills an enemy. So yeah, if you get Harrier, this is Harrier. There's a meme about this guy. He always pops up from the Void Shard. So if Hospitaller is on his team, he'll ignore 50% of the target's defense when the champion inflicts a critical hit. So I feel like these guys will be good together for Faction Wars. But he is a Void, so... But he is common. He's a common drop from there. So yeah, these are my choices for the Sacred Order. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Again, I'm not going over these. Obviously, you want to use your epics and legendaries if you have them. And again, if you want me to go over them, make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section. Let's move on to Barbarians. So Barbarians has one of the best uncommons in the game. They have Shield Guard. So if you guys can build this guy, he should be viable at level 50. So this guy has an AoE. If you build him with crit rate, 100% crit rate, and a lot of defense, every time he crits, he fills his turn meter by 20% on each critical hit. It's an AoE, right? For each enemy that he crits, he increases turn meter by 20% each critical hit. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So he's going to be dealing a lot of damage, and most likely he's going to be going again. And his passive ability is really good because he can remove 1 debuff from himself each turn. And so 1 turn cooldown, so it's every single turn that he gets. So yeah, you guys probably know that he's a very good champion. Zephyr Sniper is also another good choice. I have her at level 50, 5-star ascended, full mastery except for the tier 6. She has an AoE on her basic attack that actually deals a lot of damage. It's damage based on defense, and she has a 30% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on each target by 1 turn, and she has a continuous heal on her A2 on all allies for 1 turn. So she's a solid champion. She's one of the better uncommon champions in the game. Yeah, so I would recommend going for Zephyr Sniper and Shield Guard. And let's look at... So I'd actually build Dervish just because of her heal reduction. So that should be viable for your team. And she has a double attack on her basic that can decrease defense. It's a random hit, so it's going to hit random champions. Spirit Walker is a very good choice too because she has decreased attack on her basic attack. And also she can remove all debuffs from herself and places a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. So she's going to be very good for nuking. But that's not going to be good for Shield Guard and Zephyr Sniper if you want to pair her up because they're damage based on defense. I like Pit Fighter just because of this ability right here. Decreases target's turn meter by 50% with his A2. It can be on a 3-turn cooldown. Asher is another solid choice. The only thing I don't like is her damage based on attack even though she's defense based. But I like that she has a counterattack on her A2. So that's my choice for the uncommon champions. Let's go over to the rares. So for rares, we want to go with farmable champions first. So for the Barbarians, they have two very good farmable champions. They have War Maiden that can AoE decrease defense. She has AoE and she increases defense on all enemies, which is very good for setting up a nuke. Also, she can increase attack on herself. She plays an extra hit if the attack is critical. And she can place poison on her A1, so she's very, very good. She can set up nukes with Berserker. So Berserker attacks only enemies 2 times, will ignore 20% of each target's defense. So imagine adding decreased defense, War Maiden and Berserker as a combo. So War Maiden goes first, she uses her A3, and then he comes in, he uses his A3. He's going to probably wipe out all the enemies. You can attack an enemy and grant an extra turn if the target's killed. And he can fill his turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical on his basic attack. So this guy is very, very good, especially when combined with War Maiden. So the other champions are going to be based on if you have them or not. Sentinel is very good. He has Provoke on his basic attack. Also, he has an AoE that can decrease attack and heal reduction. And his passive heals himself by 10% HP at the start of each turn, and this heal can be critical. So you can see this guy's going to be good at self-sustaining and inflicting a lot of debuffs on the enemy. Elder is another choice. He has Provoke on his basic attack. And he can also place ally protection on the most injured ally for 2 turns. And he gets an extra turn. And he can place a counterattack buff on himself for 2 turns. He heals the champion by 15%. So he is a solid choice as well. And also Marked, just because of her A3 is very, very good. She can put block debuffs on all allies and increase defense. So you can see that's very good. And she has an AoE that can decrease accuracy on the enemy. Heal Nomad should be pretty solid, just because Veil is good for PvE as opposed to PvP. She can place a Veil buff on ally for 1 turn, and increase attack buff for 2 turns. Also, she places a shield buff on herself, equal to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns. So you can see she's good, but she is one of the newer champions. So odds are not a lot of people have her, but if you have her, she's a solid choice. She has continuous heal on her A2. I don't really like continuous heal, but should be okay. And she has decreased attack on her basic attack. So what I like about Barbarians, they have a lot of damage dealers. They also have Slayer, who has an AoE. I like champions that have AoEs. And it can be a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. And he has decreased attack on his basic attack. And he attacks an enemy on his A3, places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. And then he has a 100% chance of placing a stun when maxed out for 1 turn. So stun is always good, especially for PvE content. So Slayer is one of my other choices. And if you're looking for a support unit, this guy is very good because of his A3. He fills the turn rate of all allies by 25% and places increased crit rate buff on allies for 2 turns. And he can also steal a buff from 1 target and apply freeze on his basic. So this guy is very, very good for PvP. So yeah, so the farmable champions is Berserker, War Maiden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these champions are very good to use. And yeah, legendaries and epics. Alright guys, so that's it for the video. So we're done with Talarians. Next we're going to go over Galen Pact, where we go over Ogren Tribes, Lizardmen, and Skinwalkers and Orcs. So if you guys found this video helpful in any way, make sure you guys drop a like to help me out. And if you guys are new to the channel and you like what you see, then definitely hit that big red subscribe button. And while you're at it, make sure you guys hit the bell icon to let YouTube know you want to stay up to date on all my latest content. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.